I walked into my Seattle home to find strangers carrying a massive sectional through my front door while my mother-in-law supervised like she owned the place. My carefully curated vintage furniture collection was gone. Pieces I'd spent 5 years finding and restoring. What Diane didn't know was that every item she'd thrown away had been professionally appraised at $43,000, and I had the insurance documentation to prove it. Before we continue, make sure you subscribe, like, and share this story, because what happens next will leave you absolutely stunned. Perfect. Right there by the window. Diane clapped her hands as 2 delivery men positioned an enormous gray sectional in my living room. This is going to look so much better than that old junk. I stood frozen in my doorway, my work bag still over my shoulder. My father-in-law, Roger, was directing another delivery guy carrying armchairs. These go in the corners. Good. This place is finally going to look like adults live here. What? My voice came out strangled. What is happening? Diane spun around, her face lighting up. Surprise, Harper. We redecorated. Your furniture was so dated and shabby. We knew you'd never do it yourself, so we took care of it. I walked further into my house. My house. The one I'd bought 3 years ago with money from my graphic design business. The living room was unrecognizable. My 1960s walnut credenza gone. My restored Eames lounge chair gone. My vintage Adrian Pearsall sofa gone. My custom oak coffee table gone. In their place, generic furniture that looked like it came from a big box store showroom. Beige. Safe. Completely soulless. Where's my furniture? I asked, my voice eerily calm. In the dumpster out back, Roger said cheerfully. We rented one for the day. Had to make room for the new stuff. The dumpster. It was falling apart anyway, Diane said dismissively. That couch was stained. The credenza was scratched. The chair had that weird worn leather. Trust me, honey, this is so much better. I walked to the back door and looked out. There, in a 20-yard dumpster, was my entire furniture collection, thrown in haphazardly. My credenza was on its side. My Eames chair was upside down, one leg visibly cracked. 5 years of hunting estate sales and auctions. 5 years of restoration work. 5 years of building a collection that reflected my aesthetic, my history, my taste. Gone. Harper. My husband, Ethan, appeared from the garage. I just got your text. Oh my God. Did you know about this? I asked. No. I was at work. Mom called this morning and said she wanted to drop off some food. I gave her the garage code. He looked around the living room, his face paling. Mom, what did you do? We gave you both a gift. Diane gestured proudly at the new furniture. $30,000 worth of beautiful, modern furniture. You're welcome. $30,000? I repeated. Well, 32 with delivery and assembly. But we rounded down. Roger pulled out his phone. We put it on our credit card. You can just transfer us the money whenever. You expect me to pay for furniture I didn't ask for? Well, we can't afford $30,000, Harper. We did this for you. Obviously, you'll reimburse us. I pulled out my phone with shaking hands. Opened my photos. Found the folder labeled insurance furniture. Before we discuss reimbursement, I said, my voice deadly quiet, let me show you something. I pulled up the first document. A professional appraisal from Cascade Antiques and Appraisals. Dated 6 months ago. This is the insurance appraisal for my furniture collection. The furniture currently in your dumpster. I turned my phone so they could see the screen. The Eames lounge chair, 1960, original Herman Miller, professionally restored, appraised at $8,500. Diane's smile faltered. I swiped to the next page. The Adrian Pearsall gondola sofa, 1960s, original upholstery, excellent condition, $12,000. Roger stepped closer, squinting at my phone. The George Nakashima walnut credenza, 1970s, signed piece, $15,000. That can't be right, Diane said weakly. That old buffet thing wasn't a buffet. It was a custom credenza by one of the most important woodworkers of the 20th century. I bought it at an estate sale for $200 and had it authenticated. I swiped through the rest of the appraisal. The Milo Bauman coffee table, $3,500. The Paul Macabre chairs, $2,800 for the pair. The vintage Scandinavian teak bookshelf, $1,200. I looked up at them. Total appraised value of the furniture you threw in a dumpster, $43,000. I have insurance coverage for the full amount. The color drained from Diane's face. But that stuff looked so cheap, she whispered. It looked vintage. Because it was vintage. Museum quality, mid-century modern furniture that I spent 5 years collecting. Ethan was already running to the dumpster. I heard him yelling, "Oh God, oh God, oh God." Roger found his voice. "Well, it's still there. We can just pull it out. Can we?" I walked to the back door. Ethan was climbing into the dumpster, trying to assess the damage. "The Eames chair has a cracked leg," he called up. "The credenza has a huge gouge down the side. The sofa's frame is bent. Harper, I think they threw the bookshelf on top of it." I turned back to my in-laws. "You didn't just throw away my furniture. You destroyed it." "We didn't know," Diane started. "You didn't ask. You came into my house without permission, threw away my belongings without asking, and replaced them with furniture I don't want, can't afford, and definitely didn't agree to buy." "We were helping." Roger's voice rose defensively. "Helping would be asking first. This is trespassing, destruction of property, and fraud if you expect me to pay for furniture I never ordered." A delivery guy cleared his throat. Ma'am? We need a signature for delivery." I looked at him. "I'm not signing anything. I didn't order this furniture." But he checked his tablet. "Diane Blackwood ordered it. Said it was for her daughter." "I'm not her daughter. I'm her daughter-in-law. This is my house. I didn't authorize this delivery, and I'm not accepting it." "Harper, don't be ridiculous," Diane began. "Get out of my house." The delivery guy backed toward the door. "So, we're taking it back." "Yes. All of it. Everything that came in today goes back. But we assembled some of it. Disassemble it. I don't care. None of this stays." Roger stepped forward. "Now hold on. We can't return this stuff. It's custom ordered." "That's a lie," Ethan said, climbing out of the dumpster. "That's the Brookfield sectional from Furniture Depot. I looked at it last year. It's a stock item." "Some pieces were special order," Diane protested. "Which ones?" I asked. "Silence." "That's what I thought. Everything goes back. Today. Now." The delivery guys, sensing the family drama, quickly began dismantling what they'd assembled. Diane and Roger stood in the corner, alternating between trying to justify their actions and demanding I pay them anyway. "We spent hours picking this out. We were trying to help your home look better. You always had terrible taste." That last one came from Diane, and Ethan rounded on her. "Terrible taste? Mom, Harper's a professional designer. Companies pay her 6 figures to design their branding. She's been featured in Dwell magazine for her home design. But sure, you know better. I was just trying. You were trying to impose your taste on someone else's home. That's not helping. That's controlling." Roger tried a different approach. "Son, we're family. Surely we can work this out. By you paying for the furniture you destroyed," I said. "My insurance will cover some of it, but I have a $5,000 deductible. Plus, some of those pieces are irreplaceable. You can't just find another signed Nakashima credenza. We're not paying for used furniture." Diane's voice went shrill. "Then you're paying for new furniture. Because I'm filing a police report for destruction of property, and I'm suing you in civil court for the full appraised value. You'd sue your husband's parents? You destroyed $43,000 worth of my property and tried to make me pay $30,000 for replacements I didn't want. Yes, I'd sue you." The last piece of furniture was loaded back onto the truck. The delivery supervisor approached with a tablet. "Ma'am, I need to verify. You're refusing this entire delivery?" "Correct. Return it all to the store. There'll be restocking fees. Send the bill to Diane and Roger Blackwood. They ordered it. They can pay for it." "Harper," Diane gasped. "We can't afford restocking fees." "Then you shouldn't have ordered $30,000 of furniture without asking. This is what consequences look like." After the delivery truck left, Ethan and I went to the dumpster to assess the damage. The Eames chair was salvageable with professional repair, maybe $1,500 to fix. The credenza had a deep gouge that would cost another $800 to repair. The Pearsall sofa's frame was bent. Probably a total loss at $12,000. The coffee table was scratched but reparable. The chairs were fine, they'd been on top. The bookshelf had a cracked shelf that would need replacing. Total damage: approximately $18,000, accounting for some pieces being total losses and others needing expensive restoration. Diane and Roger watched from the patio as we took photos of each damaged piece. "This is excessive," Roger muttered. "No," I said, photographing a crack in the credenza. "What's excessive is throwing away someone else's property without permission. I'm documenting evidence for the insurance claim and the police report. You're really calling the police? Diane's voice trembled. I'm really calling the police. You trespassed, destroyed property, and attempted fraud by expecting me to pay for unrequested furniture. Those are crimes. Ethan straightened up from examining the sofa. Mom, Dad, you need to leave. Now, before Harper files that report. Because once she does, you'll probably be arrested. Arrested? Diane clutched Roger's arm. Your wife is threatening to have us arrested. My wife is the victim of multiple crimes that you committed. Yeah, arrested is a real possibility. We're your parents, who broke into my house. We had the garage code that I gave you for emergencies, not for unsolicited home makeovers. You abused my trust. You destroyed Harper's property. You tried to defraud her. I don't care if you're my parents. This ends now. They left. Finally, Diane crying. Roger blustering about how we'd regret this. Ethan and I stood in my now empty living room. I'm sorry, he said. I'm so sorry. You didn't do this. I gave them the garage code. I let them have access. For emergencies. You trusted your parents. That's not wrong. Them violating that trust is wrong. He looked at the empty space where my furniture had been. What do we do now? Now I call my insurance company. File a claim. Get estimates for repairs on what's salvageable. Replace what's not. And my parents? I'm filing a police report. They need to understand there are consequences. And I'm billing them for my insurance deductible, $5,000. They'll never pay. Then I'll take them to small claims court. I have documentation. Photos. Appraisals. I'll win. This is going to destroy my relationship with them. I touched his arm gently. Ethan, they destroyed that relationship when they threw away my property and tried to make me pay for their shopping spree. This isn't on you. It's on them. I filed the police report that afternoon. The officer was sympathetic, but realistic. This is technically criminal mischief and attempted fraud. But since it's family, the DA probably won't prosecute unless the value is high enough. $18,000 in damages. $30,000 in attempted fraud. He whistled. That might do it. I'll file the report. The detective will follow up. I filed the insurance claim next. My agent was horrified. They threw away a Nakashima piece? Harper, I'm speechless. Can you cover it? We'll cover what we can document as total loss. The Pearsall sofa, probably. The credenza might be reparable, so we'd cover restoration costs minus deductible. I'll send an adjuster out tomorrow. Diane called Ethan 17 times that night. He didn't answer. She left voicemails. Crying. Angry. Pleading. How can you let her do this to us? We were just trying to help. You're choosing her over family. On the last voicemail, Roger's voice. You'll regret this, son. Family is forever. Wives come and go. Ethan deleted that one without letting me hear it, but I saw his face. I knew what it had said. I'm not going anywhere, I told him. I know. And if your parents can't respect my boundaries, my property, my home, then they're the ones choosing to be distant. I know that too. The insurance adjuster came the next day. Professional, thorough, took extensive photos and notes. Final determination. $16,500 in covered damages after the $5,000 deductible. The Pearsall sofa was a total loss. They'd pay the full $12,000 appraised value. The other pieces would be repaired, with insurance covering costs minus deductible. I was out $5,000 plus whatever I couldn't replace. I sent Diane and Roger an invoice for $5,000 via certified mail. They never paid. I filed in small claims court. They didn't show up to the hearing. I won by default. Judgment for $5,000 plus court costs. They still didn't pay. I put a lien on their house. Then they paid. That was 18 months ago. Diane and Roger don't speak to us anymore. They tell family members we chose money over family. We chose boundaries over manipulation. My living room is beautiful again. I found another Pearsall sofa. Different model, but perfect. The Eames chair was restored. The credenza was repaired by a master craftsman. It took time. It cost money. But it's mine again. And I learned something important. When someone violates your boundaries that severely, you don't smooth it over for peace. You file the report. You document the damage. You hold them accountable. Because respect isn't optional. Property rights aren't negotiable. And family isn't an excuse to destroy someone's home and demand they pay for the privilege. My name is Harper Blackwood. I'm a graphic designer. I own a home I decorated with carefully curated vintage furniture. When my in-laws threw it away and tried to make me buy furniture I didn't want, I didn't stay quiet. I showed them the appraisal. I called the police. I filed the insurance claim. And I made sure they understood my house, my furniture, my rules. They learned that the expensive way. $5,000 plus court costs expensive. Plus a destroyed relationship with their son. Because that's what happens when you throw away someone's belongings and act like you did them a favor. You lose more than furniture. You lose trust. You lose access. You lose family. And unlike vintage mid-century modern furniture,